4-piece Cheyenne Spirit Echinacea. And all the colors are in one plant. You get 4 plants with all the colors in each. It's on a special low price of $21.68 or 5 easy payments of $4.34, but that easy pay goes away at the end of the day. Also free shipping and handling. You're getting 4 for $21.68. Really, really great value here. Tell us what the Roberta's difference is with this one.
Yeah, so this is our 4-piece Cheyenne Spirit Echinacea, also known as coneflower, and we all know coneflowers, whether we know it by name or not. It is one of the most classic American flowers in the American garden, but most of us know the coneflower as sort of a muddy pink flower that doesn't look anything that spectacular, I would say, but we love them because they bloom for an exceptionally long period of time every single year. They come back like clockwork and they're very easy to grow. Now the Roberta's difference here is that you're going to have coneflowers that are just as easy to grow, that bloom just as long and come back every single year like clockwork. But the difference is that these Cheyenne Spirit are going to produce different colors of flowers on every single plant. You could have one stem that produces an orange flower here, a yellow flower there, and a pink flower there.
That's amazing.
All on the same stem. And that is one of the reasons why the Cheyenne Spirit is a multiple award-winning coneflower, and one of my favorite reasons why I personally grow it myself.
So these, how much sun and how much water do they need?
So the coneflower is a classic flower that you plant right in the full sunlight. And here you can see this is one of the awards that it won, the All-American Selection Award winner. Basically, this plant was grown in all of the different regions of the country, and it was shown to be an excellent performer in all the different garden conditions around the country. And then it also won the Fleuro Select Award over in Europe, which is kind of crazy because Europeans have a lot of pride in their plants that they produce themselves.
Right.
And this is an American produced plant that won the gold award over in Europe.
Wow.
So that means that the Europeans were like, hey, you guys did something pretty cool with this.
You did something pretty right, you Americans.
And we were like, yes, we did.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
So how much
Yes, so these
water
love
does
the
it
full
need?
sun. Once these plants are established, they're very low maintenance. They require very little water. But what they do is they attract your pollinators like crazy. I don't know any other plant that attracts more bees, birds, and butterflies to my personal garden than these. You know, I was telling you earlier, I live in an apartment, and I have just a little balcony, and I have exactly 29 containers growing on my porch.
Oh my goodness.
You know, I've got good documentation.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. And so I have to be very selective in what I'm going to choose.
Right.
So when I was deciding, I absolutely chose this plant because it brings all of these different colors, from the oranges, the creams, the yellows, the pinks, the reds on every single plant. And it blooms starting around July, and then it blooms July, August, September, all the way into October.
Wow.
And during that time, I'm getting wonderful pollinators, but then when the flowers end, the petals will start to fall away, and you can either cut those old flowers off or do what I did. I just leave them on there, and the goldfinches and the sparrows come and play. I had a little friend.
That's fun.
Yeah, I had a little friend that would come every single day. He'd come and flutter around and enjoy the fruits of my labors growing my plants.
Yeah.
And it was just a
Which wasn't much labor, right?
It wasn't much labor, no. It
Well,
was just
show us how we get these and then how we plant them when we get them.
So you're getting 4 plants in this collection, and each one of these plants we've been growing since last year. And if you really want to have a low maintenance but beautiful garden, get a few of these collections. You can see this already has 1 fully grown flower and 2 little buds that are just starting up. So you can imagine these are going to produce flowers very quickly.
Yes.
And they're going to remain looking gorgeous in your garden all summer long. Now, I live in an apartment, so I grow mine in a container, just like we're about to plant. But my parents, they grow theirs right around the front door of our house. And it is just this beautiful flush of color all summer long. It's so effortless. And the look of the coneflower, it's such a classic American look. I absolutely adore these flowers. So once I have it planted like that, I give it some water. I like to give it my Roberta's Bounty fertilizer. I fertilize all of my plants every 7 to 10 days, and it helps them have stronger growth, better flowering, longer flowering, and more dense growth. And just some of the plant emojis to remind you guys a little bit about these plants.
And we'll get this information when these get home to
absolutely.
us, right? It comes all here.
Yes, I write every single one of these growing guides that we ship out, so I know it's full of good stuff. It's a very low water plant, but the pollinators love it, like the butterflies, the bees, and the hummingbirds. So if you want to have a nice little pollinator garden, this is a wonderful plant to include.
And now how far apart, since we're getting 4 pieces, do we space
I plant them around 18 inches apart,
okay.
A foot and a half apart.
But that'll be in the guide?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. You can always go back to QVC.com and watch a past presentation.
You can always
contact
us.
Yes, you can contact Roberta's.
Facebook, Instagram.
We are here for you. We want you to be successful
Gardening,
because it can be intimidating. I speak from experience. I haven't done it. I want to get those tomatoes. I've been wanting to do tomatoes for years.
I know.
But I am intimidated, and we don't want you. We want you to dive in, especially with all of these easy payment opportunities, to get a couple things that you've always been thinking about, or maybe you heard us say, "Hey, this one's really easy for beginners," like the daylilies.
Really easy.
And this one
is really easy for beginners. And if you were growing tomatoes, it's nice to have a plant like this nearby to bring the pollinators to your tomatoes to make sure your tomatoes get pollinated. So if you picked up those patio beefsteaks, I would recommend get a collection of this Cheyenne Spirit coneflower, plant these around your tomatoes, and you'll have a beautiful look that is full of color and flavor all summer long. And look at the flowers in this collection.
And you're getting all those colors.
Oh my
no
gosh.
choice to make. Each plant, of which you're getting 4, has all the colors within it. So you don't have to choose. You get all of those colors.
You get all the colors.
The only choice you have to make is whether you want to pay it all off right now, that $21.68, or if you'd like to use the easy payment option of $4.34. Item M61815, the 4-piece 4-piece Cheyenne Spirit Echinacea. So you just heard us talking about the tomatoes. They are